Rebuilding and relief operations are underway amid another informal settlements fire in the Western Cape. In the latest blaze, scores of people have been left homeless after a fire ripped through the Kayamandi informal settlement in Stellenbosch in the Cape Winelands. For more on this, we cross to SABC News reporter Vanessah Poonah. Good afternoon, Vanessah. How are the rebuilding of the Sheikh fires and have you spoken to those affected? How do they feel?
Yes, good afternoon to you. And as understandable, people here are feeling desperate. They've started off the new year without their homes. They've started the new year without clothing. And most people that I've spoken to have also told us that they are literally depending on donations and assistance from relief organizations for food, clothing, etc. I mean, just on the moment, and on my right-hand side over here, the gift of the givers have arrived. They are providing hot meals to residents affected. We understand some 90 people have been affected when the blaze ripped through this informal settlement here at Kayamandi on New Year's Eve. And a sad story that I have to bring to you today is that of the Kwaka family. They've just returned from the Eastern Cape this morning to find their home in ruins. I'm joined now by Nokupumla Kwaka. You said that you and your family just came back from the Eastern Cape. How did you hear about this fire that gutted your home here behind us?
I'm here this fire last night. I arrived immediately. I arrived here early in the morning, and I saw there's nothing now. I'm lost 4 machines, 2 singers, 1 electric machine, and 1 overlock, and my stuff. You see, material and computer for my son, and everything.
Nokupumla, I understand that you were a seamstress. You did sewing. You told me just now that you also did garments for churches and for the universities. Explain to me what that was your livelihood. It was your way of making an income. What are you going to do now without your sewing machines?
You come again?
What are you going to do without your sewing machines? Because you've lost your sewing machines in this fire. How are you going to make an income? How are you going to get money to provide for your family now?
Whoa, I don't know, because I'm not work. No, I'm not work. I'm surviving by sewing. That's all. Yes.
And you were telling me that your son, he's studying, he's also lost his computer in this fire. It's going to be a difficult year for you. What is your appeal? What are you asking from people? I know people haven't managed to rebuild yet. You're still waiting for materials. But what else will you as a family need?
Yes, I need help, machine if you can, and material for my clothes, because I'm sewing a church uniforms, and computer for my son. Yes.
Nokupumla, thank you very much for speaking to us. Of course, they're one of the fire victims. If I can just show you behind me, of course, this is the remains of her home. She was a small business owner. She made a living by sewing for various church organizations. And she told me just now she also made some items, clothing items, garments for universities. And of course, now she's lost 4 sewing machines in this blaze. That means that a mother, a breadwinner, now no longer can provide for her family. A very desperate situation here in Kayamandi. Of course, just one of 14 fires which ripped through informal settlements in Cape Town over the past 2 weeks. Joining me now is another councillor in the area, Councillor Ayanda Tomose. Councillor, you were here on the site when this fire broke out, and you were telling us that it is quite devastating. I mean, just behind us we see the gift of the givers handing out warm meals to people. What is the need of this community at this stage?
Well, it's a lot. It's very hard to mention because people lost everything. It was very difficult for them to try to get something out of the houses because the fire was very strong. So they couldn't rescue anything, even those that were here on the day. And when we were here, it was just before everyone crosses the year, and they were trying to others going to pray. So they might have been at church, others went to places of celebrations. So you would find that even those that were here, they were not at their houses at that moment.
A sad story. I just spoke to one of the residents, Ms. Kwaka, who with her family returned home from the Eastern Cape in the early hours of this morning, only to find that her home has gone up in ruin. She was telling us about a desperate situation. She was sewing to make a living, and of course now her means of providing for her family are no more.
Yes, it's very sad. This Kwaka family is one of the families that were in the Eastern Cape, and we are still expecting others to come back from the Eastern Cape. They've arrived this morning. When they arrived, they have no clothes because all their clothes were inside. All their materials were inside. Their business materials was also inside. So it's very devastating because now there's no means of income in that Kwaka family, even in other families. Uniform for school kids, stationaries, and uniform for work for others. So many things has been lost. It's hard to mention that the community needs this. We would urge people who can assist to assist with anything that they would assist, that would assist the community, of course.
I know that behind me I've seen some community members trying to clear the burnt rubble, the burnt remains of their clothing and the possessions in their homes. Of course, I spoke to your colleague earlier on. In terms of the kind of relief, she told me that the department had taken down the names of those that have been affected. We haven't yet seen building materials. Have you heard anything in the interim with regards to the supply of those emergency material for people to at least try and rebuild their shelters?
Yes. We as municipality, before we provide anything, we try to get a verified list of the victims. We have done that now, and we are now working on activating each and every department that needs to be activated so that we can provide anything that we would be able to provide as a local government. So we are not sure as to what actual date we will be able to provide, but as soon as we are ready to provide, we'll definitely do that. And we know 100% that they need to have their homes as soon as possible.
Councillor, thank you so much for your time. Of course, the Councillor Ayanda Tomose just telling us that the need here in this community is great. People having lost all their possessions. Just in front of me, I see a couple of school-going children. They would have lost all their books. A lot of parents would have purchased the new supplies for school way ahead of the start of school, which is happening shortly. Of course, we've seen the burnt-out remains of some of the school books. Children have lost uniforms. Families have really been dealt a heavy blow, with some people even losing their small businesses, like we've spoken to Mrs. Kwaka earlier on. So, of course, the need here in the Kayamandi informal settlement is a great one, as has been the case in various informal settlements, the Noon, Masipumalele, Langa and Joe Slovo. We've seen shack fires really bringing people to their knees at a very difficult time of the year. Of course, it happened 2 days before Christmas. The first fires started raging, and then of course right up until New Year's Eve, when this blaze ripped through the Kayamandi informal settlement here near Stellenbosch.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. What a terrible way to begin the year, and let's hope that some good Samaritans will come forth to be able to assist this community.